Hi, I'm Bloodied Porcelain, and I will be playing Nienna, the Elven Sorceress.
Hi, I'm Overthinker. I will be playing Irileth, the Elven Assassin turned Bouncer.
Hi, I'm Legacy, and I'll be playing Brynnhilder, the Witcher.
Hi, I'm Stabbykinz, and I'll be playing Siegryn, the Dwarven Merchant.
Hello, I'm Grizz. I'll be playing Fenix, the Silversmith.
Somewhere around here is our game master.
Yes, I'm right here, in fact. I'm Solomon. I will be your game master for this evening. The Witcher and the Sorceress had gotten together with a number of their contacts in the city. They had begun to investigate one of the more recent kidnappings, found not the child that was missing, but traces of magic and a corpse of a Doppler hidden within the depths of the river. The Doppler's corpse was taken to be autopsied, and when they went back to the body bar guests, the Witcher and their bouncer associate found that their previous contact who told them about the more recent kidnapping was herself slain and her own child missing. We're going to begin with the group that had taken the Doppler body off to be autopsied with Nienna.
Yes.
You, as the retained sorceress, know of a doctor by the name of Kesha, who is always on retainer, always ready to be called in by Lord Einar. So you know that if there is anyone that you could trust, it would be Dr. Kesha. She is an elf, much as you are, though even though she lives in a more human city, she also is a bit more reluctant to assist in human matters. But as you being another elf, you've managed to at least strike a decent professional relationship with him.
I guess I will lead the way there and knock on the door.
The door opens after a few moments, and there stands a tall, fairly well-built elven woman. Her skin has been tanned by the sun from a lot of work out of doors, despite the fact that she is a doctor. And she is looking at you rather sternly. It's like, do you know what hour it is in the end?
I do. Unfortunately, some things can't wait, including the dead. She will kind of turn and gesture to Fenix for him to bring the body in.
Yeah, Phoenix just like pats the body on his shoulder. Mind if I drop this off? It's not the most pleasant smelling object I've carried around in recent memory, so.
Oh, good lord, fine. And she will open the door the rest of the way. Just put the body on the slab there.
You got it, Doc. Yeah, he'll walk in and place it down gently.
So who exactly have you killed now, Nienna?
I haven't killed anyone. We found the body while working on an investigation for his lordship. But it appears to be a Doppler someone went to great pains to hide in the river.
She will look rather, curiously and confusedly. And she will move to, unwrap the body and just, put a hand to her mouth. Good lord. I've never seen a Doppler its natural state. This is And she will pull out a small satchel and unroll it, and there are various tools of autopsy and the like. If you wish to assist, you may, but this may take a short while. Is there anything I should be specifically looking for?
Well, we're reasonably certain we know how it died. Any traces of any sort of magical use on it would be helpful, though. If you find any odd markings, signs of potions, that sort of thing. But I don't think I will be of any use to you in terms of examining the body, beyond what we've already done.
Very well. I will take a moment to search what I can normally, and then I'll move on to more thorough procedures.
Thank you. If at all possible, I'd like to keep this as quiet as possible. We do not want to panic.
I know the deal. Lord Einar's work is meant only for Lord Einar.
Indeed. Thank you.
Of course. And she will just gesture to a small little waiting room she has off to the side for those who are waiting for word of such things.
I'll lead. I'll look at Fenix. Do you want to stay, or do you think we should meet with the others?
I mean, they're just going back for a pint. What's the worst that could happen? I'll wait here.
Very well. We will wait.
You got it.
We'll do a roll for Kesha. It takes roughly 10 minutes before she out. Nienna, you will want.
I will get up and go see what she wants.
Same.
So you move back in, and you see that she has basically cut the clothing away from this body to check over the form as a whole. And it seems normal, pale, no real markings that can be seen, until she takes a second to turn it, and in a different view, in a different angle from the light, from the candlelight that she has, you can see that there is a shimmer. And you can see that as she turns it a specific way, there are suddenly large, intense markings, almost as if the entire body is tattooed in a way.
Oh.
I have not seen markings of this nature before. Not in my natural works, at least. I've heard of practices where others will actually inscribe sigils on themselves or each other, either through tattoos or scarification. Could impart some kind of magic, whether it be real, well, bullshit, I could not say.
Can I get closer and kind of examine the markings to see if I recognize them?
Give me an intelligence and education roll.
Okay. Huh. 28. It's a 10 on the dice. Oh, wait, that explodes, doesn't it?
The dice roll explodes it automatically.
Yeah, 28.
So with a 28, you know that this practice is usually done largely in Skellige, more with where it's more like Celtic or for real world versions, Celtic or Nordic inscriptions like tattoos. But the way that these markings are done, the patterns they take, are old. They are. It's almost like someone made calligraphy of elder speech. Elven.
Can I read it? I have. I have ranks in elder speech.
Yes, it is not.
It's not what?
Not a matter of flowery language as
Oh goodness. I believe Saul might be having sound problems again.
end up becoming clinical. It's almost the body and possibly even the soul.
Yeah, I didn't get most of that. I got clinical body and soul of this being because your audio went all wonky.
Apologies. It is clinical. It's almost like a contract. It's the magic itself has been pushed into the body and soul of this being, and it is something that would apparently give it some manner of ability, but all of that has been like crossed out, and all that's left is the punishment for broken, and that being swift and decisive termination.
What you got, Nienna?
She'll kind of glance between the two of them. It's a contract. In elder speech, apparently they were gifted some sort of ability, some sort of power, but it looks like they may have broken the contract because all of that is crossed out. All that's left is punishment.
I mean, this thing was chained to the bottom of a river, well away from eye view of most people.
Yes, but that seems more likely to just be how they were attempting to dispose of the body, more than
both.
The punishment. This is strange. Have I ever seen like a magical contract etched into somebody's body and soul like this?
Never. You have heard like stories that have talked about magical deals being made between people, or like hags or other ancient witches or other ancient magical beings, but you've never heard or seen it like for real.
I'll just sort of shake my head a little bit and look at Fenix. I've heard stories, but I've never seen anything like this before.
I mean,
this is something that leaches through the body and into the soul.
It's a bit beyond me, not gonna lie. However,
it makes it clear that there's definitely someone behind all of what's been happening.
Think you could write it down?
I can. I'll kind of go through my bag and pull out. I believe I have like writing stuff. I went on something of a shopping spree when I made this character. Yeah, I have a writing kit, so I'll transcribe everything that I can into my journal.
Maybe we could go back to the pub and figure out if anyone knows any good tattoo places around here that may, like, have an idea where this might have come from. I know it's deeply magical in nature, but someone might be able to point us in direction.
If I'm given enough time to sit with it, I might also be able to figure out how this could have been done. This isn't something you would find in a typical tattoo shop. Even if it weren't magical, the type of ink and the way that it's done, only showing up in very specific lighting.
Kesha speaks up and says, well, this is all very well and good, but I don't exactly know what to do with a Doppler corpse now. Do a full autopsy as well? If you say you already know what killed it, so I don't exactly know what exactly you want me to try to find otherwise.
I'd roll it over and show her the mark from the blade at the back of the neck. That's what we think most likely killed it. Saul, did your sound crash again?
It did, because Discord is being rude.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Did your sound crash?
But anyway, as you show her this mark, she takes out some of her own parchment and ink and pen and says, I will do what I can to learn more about this, and I suppose I can send the body to Lord Einar for the Vatgarn process. I've heard that Vatgarns can make use of bits and bobs from corpses of creatures.
They can, and that might be useful. Thank you.
Of course. Is there anything else I might do for you this evening?
No, I believe that's it.
Very well.
Actually, I have a quick question.
Yes?
What have you heard about the missing kids in town?
The missing children.
Human or not, missing kids is a big issue.
Yes, I'm not so callous as to be hateful of all beings, including their children. But I have not heard much. Many of my patients here are elves, as you can imagine. However, there was one, an elven man who was in here hoping to get treatment for a cut he got. He said that he had gotten it while he was trying to ward off an attacker. One that he said knocked him out and took his son.
Do you know where we can find him?
Yes, he is down in the Narrows. And you will know that the Narrows are a rather rough part of Machina, where a lot of the what crime there is happens generally down in the Narrows, whether it be illicit gambling or other sorts of back alley deals and movement of illicit substances, smuggling, that kind of thing.
All right. I appreciate the info, Doc.
Of course. Does this have something to do with the missing children? And she will just look back to the Doppler's corpse.
Possibly. We believe so.
I see. If there is anything else I can do, do feel free to let me know. I may not exactly appreciate the people in power and those around me, but children are important. They are what will happen of our future. I would hate
There
to
is-
see that warped.
There is one more thing. Do you have a spare
Yes.
shirt?
Ah,
He
I
just said
do.
his has
Though,
been shirtless
not
for a
exactly
while.
one in your size.
I
It will
appreciate
be
it.
snug.
Snug is fine.
Very well. A good evening to both of you,
Thank you so much.
of course.
I will turn to kind of usher Fenix out of the office, and when we are out in the door, she'll be like, "That was rude,"
Which part?
implying that she didn't care because most of the children were human.
No, but I put enough fire under her to, you think a little deeper that time, didn't it? I would never assume that. She's also a doctor.
These are people that we have to work with, Phoenix. If you are rude to them, they will stop working with us.
She gave me a shirt. She understood my intentions. But
Thank
I
you.
take your point.
A good amount of her goodwill towards you in those moments may have been because I was in the room. And she
Most
knows how
likely.
easily she could lose her contract.
Most likely. But we have another lead.
Yes.
I'll insult a few people for the sake of the kids. But should we head back?
We should go meet with the others before we go into the Narrows. I don't feel comfortable going there without appropriate backup.
Agreed. This is a little snug, isn't it?
A bit, but it suits you.
Ah, appreciate that. And he'll lead the way, yeah.
All right. It's about another 10, 15-minute walk back to the body bar, I guess, from where you are, because you had to cross districts in order to get from one place to the other. And when you get back to the body bar guest, I would actually like Irileth to tell me Irileth and Brynnhilder and Irileth, Brynnhilder, and Siegryn to tell me what exactly has happened in the 10 to 15 minutes that passed since discovering the body. What did Irileth do?
Upon discovering the body, his response would have been a moment of frustration, and then to Brynnhilder, nobody gets into this room. Close the door. Goes outside, finds the first employee. Get the boss. Folks, false alarm. Puts the sword away. Go back to your drinks.
I would like a roll of empathy and charisma from Irileth to just sort of dissuade everyone from worrying after that rather abrupt show.
That's a 17.
Okay. Yeah, it's getting later into the evening. Most people are a little bit deeper into their cups, and they are happy to go back to focusing on drinking and trying to find pleasant company for the evening.
Excellent. Yeah.
All right. What was Siegryn up to during all of this?
After... just to clarify, Siegryn saw the body too?
If not, I immediately tell you when you get upstairs. She's dead. We're gonna keep it quiet.
I
There's a
would
way we
think
can put
you've
silver in
seen it.
people's hands.
Okay, excellent. Siegryn would have found probably one of the other rooms to quietly stress vomit in, after which she probably got changed into her regular merchant outfit, just like a plain fairly poofy linen dress, green corset, brown apron over that, cleaned herself up as best she can, as well as the mess that she ended up making, and just took a bit of time to compose herself because, wow, it has been a while since she's seen anything like that. After which she would rejoin with the others, just trying to keep her wits about her.
Yeah, Brynnhilder's gonna act like a brick wall between the general public and that door. Arms crossed, swords at her back. Anybody who tries to even walk towards the door, she just gently pushes away from the away from the small area around the door, just kind of moving them along.
Okay, so you are able to very easily get people to stay away from the door because, well, one, you're quite large, two, you're quite strong, and three, you're the Lord's Vatgaren. People know not to mess with you.
Right on.
And
Wonderful.
and after a bit of time, is there anything else others are doing aside from keeping people away from the door and keeping people busy?
I need to talk to the boss.
Of course. The worker you sent immediately goes and gets the proprietor, and they come back and get you and say, she is willing to see you. The door's open for you.
I give Brynnhilder the nod of keep up the good work, and speed walk to the back room.
You get back to the head office. The back room is the largest of all of the various rooms. And it is opulent. There are all kinds of odd baubles and trinkets from the furthest reaches of the continent, from Toussaint to places outside of the continent even. There's a large statue made from an odd green stone that seems to be in almost in the shape of a dragon, but a dragon that is more serpentine. And behind the desk sits a woman in her mid-50s, perhaps even early 60s, but she is someone who, either through money or personal work, has been working to make sure that she looks about.
Very cool.
Half her. You know that this is a woman who, for her workers and her patrons, she is known as Mother K, though others who work with her in business call her Madame Karina.
Cool.
She looks up at you after writing and says, what can I do to help you to this evening, Irileth? You put on quite a sight, from what I'm told.
Unfortunately, it was warranted.
That's not what you told the patrons. Good.
Well, I assumed you wanted business to continue. Yeah.
That's correct. Now,
Irileth takes a seat across the desk from her.
Now, what exactly has you so worked up this evening?
The Lord's Witcher and Mage acquaintances came down. They're looking into some kidnappings. We put together that Nienna suspected she'd had a client who'd had someone stolen. And while I was out looking into that, a Doppler came in here wearing my face, stole a child, and slit Mina's throat in her bed. So I got none of Madame K's response.
Her response was, she doesn't show anything in her face. She just puts the pen down and crosses her hands and says, "So what exactly are you going to do about this, Irileth?"
Well, putting an arrow through the head of the fellow that did it is a solid start. But I want to make sure people know that I did. Also planning to cover up the murder for tonight. And keep it low-key tomorrow. Some people are going to know, but it's not going to be a big deal.
Very well.
Finding the kid is a priority. And honestly, the fact that the Witcher and the Sorceress are already on this, I feel like our odds of putting this guy down are good.
My money would be on you, yes. Though, don't let that get to your head. Overconfidence is a rather insidious murderer.
As a professional insidious murderer, I'll take that.
Very good.
All right. We can keep her room boarded up right now, but we did smash the door so it won't lock. Brynnhilder's gonna need to move around tonight, so I can't have her guarding it all day.
I'll have one of the boys go and make sure that she's not disturbed.
All right. We'll also need to poke around for clues a little bit. And, I mean, if I'm going after this guy, I'm not going to be able to watch the floor, so the boys I brought in are okay, but we may need to... I'll shop around tomorrow for some better stand-ins.
They'll do for now. And as for everything else, I shall handle it.
Good. Oh, one other suggestion. We should get silver cups. Cups with a silver handle would pull a Doppler out of his... Well, I understand it's not good for them. It's like unhealthy or something.
There is a reason that the Vatgern carry silver blades, yes. I will see what I can do. I have a number of contacts who can supply such things. We'll see if we can get that done quickly.
Cool. All right. Stands back up. Then I've got some murder to do.
Good luck.
Oh. Every time I see you from now on, I'm going to give you a half bow and say, Miss K. If I come into your presence and I don't do that, get a knife.
Oh, I have just the thing for Dopplers, dear.
Good. All right.
You're dismissed.
I head back to the floor.
And it is about this time when Fenix and Nienna make their way into the body bar guest.
Over here. You two. Hey.
There's no need to shout, Irileth. We can hear you.
It's a bar. It's loud.
Your voice carries.
It does.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's go upstairs and talk.
Nienna will look concerned for a split second, and then her face will kind of smooth out again, and she'll nod and head for the stairs.
Concern would be reasonable since Irileth is now wearing his sword.
Yeah, Phoenix just follows.
Do you head up to the same room that where Brynnhilder is, or do you head elsewhere?
If we can still talk in the pine room, that would be great.
It is open to you still, yes.
Cool. In here.
And Brynnhilder, one of the men that Irileth got to come and cover for him, says, Mother Kay said that I'm to watch over the room for you for now, so you can speak to your associates.
One nod and just leans in. Not go in to that room. I will know if you go into that room.
My instructions were clear. I have no inclination to anger Mother K.
She stares at him for like maybe one moment too long, going without blinking, and then gives him one nod and then walks off to go join the others into the room.
At that point, Siegryn will slip out with a bit of a stumble, a little bit more paler than she was before. Her hair is tied up with a green band, and she is going to follow along hurriedly.
Hey, Sig, you doing okay?
I'm trying to.
You look a little peaky. Did you eat something? Something weird? The canal water, maybe?
I don't know if you know this, but most bartenders are not used to seeing dead bodies like that.
Oh, it was the body.
Yes, the body.
Oh, huh. All right, well, come in.
All right.
And as we all gather, I'll bring the others up to speed.
Well, as it turns out, the Dopplers aren't doing this of their own accord, I don't believe. Anyway, the one that we took in had a contract of sorts, magical in nature, etched into its very skin.
Huh.
Would appear that it did something to break the contract and was punished for it.
Well, it had to sign a contract, right? Like,
Sure.
I'm not a business guy, but a contract's an agreement.
In theory, agreements can be made under duress.
And was there any inkling as to what this the contract?
Not entirely. No, just that the Doppler would be gifted with certain abilities, certain power, in exchange for their services. But they broke the contract because most of that was crossed out, leaving only the part that made it clear that they'd be punished if they broke the contract.
And then stabbed in the base of the skull, chained to the bottom of a river.
Still
And
weird
then-
as murder goes.
So chances are then, whoever's doing this has a number of these Dopplers on contract then.
Yeah. Enough that they can get rid of one and send one in to impersonate me.
And I'm guessing that we don't exactly know how many Dopplers are living in the city.
Actually, we have a pretty good idea. Brynnhilder,
Mm.
how many Dopplers do you think are actually running around? That's like a general rule.
Yes. GM.
Brynnhilder, please give me a roll of Witcher training.
Yes, sir. I got a 19.
With a 19, you know, just from your own personal experience and records of like how Dopplers work and how big cities tend to attract them because there's more people to impersonate, or no one's going to look over like one random schmuck walking down the street, because Dopplers, even in the normal forms, tend to look human or like dwarf-ish. But from your own personal experience, you know that in a big city like this, there could be maybe a dozen or so Dopplers at any given time. Usually a little bit less, because there have been a number of incidents where Dopplers got assaulted by church inquisitors. Less so nowadays, but they still sort of remember. And you actually know of at least one Doppler that lives in the city that is friendly to you. His name is Koro. They tend to have shorter, easier to work with names.
Well, I know that there might be at least anywhere from maybe 10 to 12. I do know of one in particular. I could go and speak with them. Their name is Koro. They might have a bit of a better understanding of how many Dopplers are actually within the city.
Well, if they have any community here in the city, they might even be able to give us some clue as to what's going on.
Actually, sorry, go ahead.
The problem is that just because there are Dopplers within the city doesn't necessarily give them any ties with one another. They tend to, well, impersonate other people. That's kind of why they're called Dopplers. The rough hangout spot of my buddy. I can see if they're hanging around there or not. Ask a couple of questions, see if they might know anything of maybe anybody who's taken a pack.
Where do they live right now? Because it might tie into something else we learned.
Where's Coral live?
He lives where he can find a lot of work, acting as a spy or as a saboteur for some of the larger criminal enterprises. He lives down in the Narrows.
In the where?
The Narrows.
The Narrows.
The Narrows.
Lives down in the Narrows.
Well, that's convenient.
Because we learned from the doc that some man had his son kidnapped, and he lives down in the Narrows, and he has a rough identification of his attacker.
Well, shall we play the 2 birds, 1 stone game?
Before we get too busy with any of those leads, I'd honestly like Render to take a smell of the room that we had left relatively untouched. See if he can pick up anything off of the son's belongings.
Agreed. In fact, I point to Brynnhilder as well. You should get in there. You should get in there with Render, and let's check this place out.
All right. Brynnhilder, please give me a roll of awareness or...
Yes, sir.
I'm also going to look it over just because I knew Mina.
Let's go with the same roll then.
Ooh, 25.
Nice.
Very nice.
Uh, 18.
Okay. With the 18, you are looking around and you're not seeing anything too much out of the ordinary, but there is something that you notice specifically.
Mm-hmm.
The blade she had on her is nowhere to be found.
Well, that's interesting.
As for Brynnhilder, you notice that your amulet vibrates the strongest by the window. as if like that's where the largest part of the magical energy came from, or like was or formed at. You also notice that there is, while most of the blood, of course, is on her and on the bed because of where she was cut, there's also a spray of blood against the wall that doesn't seem to coincide with where she ended up getting hurt. So it's very likely that that blood does not belong to her. It could belong to the Doppler.
Whoever was in this room wasn't expecting her to talk. That's not her blood. And there's a lot of magic coming from this window right here.
They also took her knife. Probably because it has their blood.
Let's see what Renda can pick up on. Go sniff around, boy.
Brynnhilder,
Mm-hmm.
this is a lot, right? Like, I mean, anybody, really. Think about it. The Doppler, an assassin, and also, he didn't walk out of here with the kid. And he didn't throw the kid out the window. Unless he had people waiting outside. Honestly, a team makes more sense anyway, but
Right.
this is a lot for one kid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, think about what we just learned with the other one. Now in the doctor's hands. Contract on the back, giving it extra abilities. Jumping out the window from a second story wouldn't be that much, would it?
I'm thinking that
But the
there might
Doppler
be,
left through the front.
and I'm thinking that there might be more than one Doppler involved in this.
But if you could get in through the window, why wear my face to walk in? Are they making it personal for fun?
Maybe to throw people off. Red herring.
Maybe, but that's not what professionals do.
Nobody said that these people were professionals.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Let's get out of here. Render?
Yeah.
Render sniffs around. With 2 exploding dice, Render sniffs around, sniffs at the toys, and gets a bit of a scent, but sniffs at the blood and barks at it, and then immediately looks to Siegryn like, ready to go.
All right. Is the blood still like relatively wet? Out of curiosity.
Yes, it is not to the point where it's long enough that it's fully dried. It is still fairly wet and sticky.
She's gonna go ahead and take out like just like a basic linen handkerchief, and she's gonna smear some of the blood onto it, just in case. And she'll stow that away for now. All right, boy, go look.
And he is going to go ahead and begin sniffing along and leading you all as he works his nose to scent down the stairs of the body carcass and out.
As we take off, I'm gonna grab my, armored jacket, basically.
Fair enough. You grab your armored jacket, and everyone who wants to grab any other gear that they might have here are freely able to, and you all head out, and you can tell just from the way that that Render is going, you are already heading down to the Narrows.
All right.
The traveling to the Narrows is like watching the city decay in front of your eyes. As you go from district to district, area to area, you can see the buildings look more and more and more ramshackle and more dilapidated. You get down to the Narrows, and you can see that for the most part, the buildings are in very much disrepair, to the point where it almost looks more like people prefer living in shacks that they were built up themselves than to live in the larger buildings that almost act more as tenements for those who can't afford their own materials. This place reeks of decay and just the sorrows and mess of trying to have a city, and not everyone has the money to live well within it. There are a number of people eyeing you, especially eyeing Nienna and Siegryn and Irileth, but then those people also see Brynnhilder and look away.
Hey. I just, Fenix.
Yes.
You guys, this is gonna get sketchy. Are you guys sure you want to be here?
Well, I came all the way out here this far, and besides, I don't think Render is going to be listening to anybody else.
How about you, Smith?
I'm doing it for the kids. Don't worry about me. Besides, I think I make all these weapons and don't know how to swing one.
Toothy grin. Alright.
All right. You follow Rinder along, and he leads you along in a odd swerving pattern, almost as if like the trail leads in a very odd way, like even to the point where he like circles a few times around a rather decrepit looking tree. And a bunch of kids are trying to get closer to him and be like, "Puppy!" Despite the fact he's quite large. But Rinder is on the case, able to avoid being distracted by children, and leads you over to a shack. One that is currently having the door beaten in, just not like actually kicked in, but like there's a large fist wrapping at it as a large human man says, "Oi, I know you're in there. Jessup, come here."
I mean, I can take him, but who wants to?
I don't suppose any of you recognize this person.
Does the voice sound familiar at all?
No, it's just someone from the Narrows to you.
Oh, you dare approach me? All right. Brynnhilda's gonna step up in front of the rest of the group.
They're
If I
banging on the door that we're at.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
correct.
She's gonna step in front of the group and very gently open the door and just kind of like poke an eye out. What?
Yeah, we're all on the same side of the door.
Yeah,
Right,
you're all
we're
outside
outside.
of the building at the moment. Dear.
Sorry. I got a little confused.
I'll shout at the man.
Okay.
Just get his attention.
He just stops his banging on the door and turns around to look at all of you. Well, what the... And then he looks at Brynnhilder and sees the two swords on her back. Oh, the Vacan.
So,
Mhm.
You looking for a dress-up too?
sorry, love, but we've got a bit of business here. If you wouldn't mind scampering off for a bit.
You know, who's Jessup?
He's the one that lives here. Right shifty fellow, but good on his word usually, but, well, he said he was supposed to meet me to pay off, some, well, enhancers for a party, and he fucked off. He didn't even really show up, so I'm just coming to get what's due to me.
Right. What's his scam?
Generally supplying things that enhance parties, be it alcohol or,
So what, like a smuggler, thief?
Your dog is
Smuggler.
very loud.
All right. Well, hey, we're gonna have words with Mr. Jessup. You should do what my friend said, and what was it you said?
Scamper off, I believe.
Yeah, scamper off.
Right. And he just like gives a bow and another shaky look at Brynnhilder, and
Anyway,
dear.
and the building is now open to all of you.
How many entry points are there on the shack?
There is a window that has what looks to be like closed wooden shutters, and like almost like small doors as opposed to like anything like intense or like anything opulent, and a what looks to be one wooden door that looks fairly flimsy.
Okay, so just those two areas?
That you can see at the moment.
All right, Siegryn will look to the rest of the group. You want me and my boy here to wait outside and see if anybody tries to jump out?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, good
can
thought.
do.
Let's try not to, I don't know. Let's fucking go. And I'll head in.
The door itself is locked at the moment, though, again, the door is rather flimsy. So if anyone wants to just bust the door down, then I could take a physique roll, or perhaps if anyone wants to cast a spell.
Any spells I could cast at this thing would just send the whole structure up in flames, so no.
I cast fist.
Before we do anything,
Mm.
since you know the Doppler, Brynnhilder, do you want to just use your voice instead?
This is
Wait,
not
this
the
isn't-
shack of Koro. This is the shack of the Doppler that Siegryn and Rinder were following. The one that attacked Mina.
Okay, and then that me was just thinking, yeah, pop off.
All right, I cast fist to door.
Okay, give me a physique roll.
Okay. 21.
That door is now kindling. You just immediately crash your way through it without too much of an issue. And as you do this, you look over and you can see that there is a couple candle lights that are still lit. And you can see that there is a form of what looks to be a human, mid-20s, dark, short brown hair, looking up at you, and he sees the two swords and says, and he dives for a trap door at the end.
Got it. I'm gonna start running after him. If he's trying to get away, there's some form of guilt no matter what. Uh-oh.
So I would like a roll of dexterity athletics from you, Brynnhilder.
Okay. $15.
He manages to get the door open and try to dive on in, and you just grab him by the collar of his shirt and rip him back up out of the hole he was trying to dive into. And you are strong enough that you're able to hold him up and look at him.
Oh yeah, no, she's gonna do that thing where she's like grabbing him kind of by the base of the neck and lifting him up a little bit over her, so he's forced to look down at her. I don't think so. Now you are going to answer our questions, or this will be a very unpleasant experience for you. Do I make myself clear?
Crystal.
Good. And then she's gonna slam him down into a chair.
The chair cracks, and he's like, "Careful! I don't have all kinds of money to." And then he just looks at you again. Sorry, man.
Now, answer your questions, and we won't have any problems. And then she gestures for the others to come in.
Nienna will step in, but it's very, she steps very carefully. Like she's almost worried she's going to step in something gross.
Yeah, Fenix will duck real low to enter this thing. God.
Yeah, Fenix, you have to kind of stay hunched over a little bit. Not a ton, but just enough to be annoying.
Yeah. Was he trying to get down in there? Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I just wanted to check. This is where, Render isn't moving through this space going somewhere else?
No, he is waddling on in and then barking at the individual in the chair now.
All right.
Fenix will point to the trap door, which is probably wide open at this point, and be like, trying to get down in there.
Well, that was the plan when I saw the fucking Vatgarm bust down my door.
Not you, boy. And he'll walk over and stick his head down in there.
Looking down in there, you see that there looks to be a sort of tunnel that could lead elsewhere.
Damn.
All right, well, let's check the Doppler for wounds. See if it's our guy for sure.
Yeah, you. Strip.
Just the shirt should be fine.
He hesitates and then sighs and pulls his shirt up over him. And you can see that there is a rather long cut, from the left side, the left shoulder down, to where his heart is. It just cut over his heart, and if it gotten deeper, it might have nicked something important.
She got you pretty good, didn't she?
The wound does look new, and it does look like it has the sort of burning and scarring that silver does to monsters.
Does his skin have the same kind of tattoo and or scarification that the other Doppler did?
In this light, you can't tell yet.
She got you pretty
Yes.
good.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Nienna's gonna walk over to. I'm guessing he has candles, or at least a candle in here somewhere.
He has a couple candles set around the place.
She's gonna take those and move them to try and recreate the proper lighting based on what we had at the doctor's. And then move in and very carefully start examining his skin.
As you are doing this, you can see that he is like wriggling and just like looking very unsure and very afraid of what is awaiting him. But you're
Hey.
able to get the light to just the right angle that you can see that there's the beginnings of the contract. He's still moving to the point where you can't see all of it, but you can tell that it is in fact there. But as opposed to being on the back, it is on the chest.
Who did this? Who did you make your agreement with?
A mage.
Yes, I'm going to need more specifics than that. And before you try to be cagey, understand that I can take it from your mind, but it won't be pleasant for you or anyone else.
And also, you should relax a little bit. We're just after the kid.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you too, ma'am. If you try to take it from my mind, it's not going to be pleasant for you either.
In the middle of this, Siegryn will kind of flip down the trapdoor and have Render sit on top of it, just to be on the safe side.
Fair enough.
So, a mage.
Yeah, a mage.
What's he do with the kids?
Not my pay grade.
Tell me
What'd the
about
last
the
guy
mage.
do?
The mage is someone who I really, really, really didn't want to piss off and still don't. They're... and he looks like he is in physical agony as he tries to form the word.
No.
All right,
No.
Stop.
The last guy. What did he do?
He just like smirks a little bit, and then but his eyes look like horrified. Grew a conscience.
Yeah, that'll get you.
Got to go back on what he was supposed to do, and they didn't like that.
I expect his death was pretty horrible.
Yeah. They made sure that we saw it.
How many is we?
Less than 10. More than 4.
Now,
What
see, that's
do you-
hopeful.
What do you do with the children after you take them?
Pass them along.
Where?
Wherever the agreed upon place was. It's different for each one.
What about tonight?
Outside the window.
Just straight in, huh?
It wasn't nothing personal. You were just easier to get to her that way.
The silver knife. You take it?
They don't want you finding it, and he just like points over to a small little drawer. You got me damn good.
I'll step away from him and whisper to Nienna to just finish up here.
The mage. do you know if they're from around here? From this city?
They're not Nilfgaardian.
Are they human?
He just stares at you, like his eyes pleadingly, like, don't make me try to answer that.
That's enough questions about the mage, everybody. Unless we want him to drop dead or something. Where do you usually get the information from about targets? Is it a Dropbox? Something like the same?
We have a system. Dropboxes usually. Sometimes direct messages from one to another.
We done here?
Well, if you're meant, we just uncovered an entire conspiracy spanning the city and possibly dozens of more kids than we expected, especially for including the Narrows, so not sure. Brynnhilder, Nienna, that kitty just like gestures to the Doppler. Who are we turning this individual into then?
Who did I communicate with telepathically last session?
You communicated with, I believe it was Jacob, the noble bastard.
Oh, right. I thought somebody in the party I had done telepathy with. I would like
If you'd like to cast a spell again, you can.
I would like to target Brynnhilder, please.
Okie dokie.
So, do I roll for that, or does it just work? Because she's not.
You still need to roll to actually cast the spell to make sure there isn't like a magical miscast.
Okay. Spell casting. I hit the thing. Why is nothing happening? Oh, I have a focus. Does that matter?
I believe it gives you a bonus. I will have to double check the rules for that later.
I have a level 2 focus.
So when you click, you have to click basic roll. There you go.
I did. It didn't open the first time I clicked it. Okay. So it's a 21.
That will definitely cast the spell.
Brynnhilder will hear in her mind, if we want more information on the mage, I can get it. It might kill him, though.
Now, storyteller.
Yeah.
As a witcher, do I hold any moral or ethic code based on my school to keep people alive, especially if I know that that killing this one could possibly save many?
That is a wonderful question. The answer is complex.
Great, cool.
And there's the problem that he's still technically under contract right now, so he's still bound to follow the orders of whoever did this to him.
I also think both of you know that Irileth is duty-bound to murder this guy.
To answer Brynnhilder's question, for the most part, Witcher schools are all in agreement that they should remain neutral when it comes to political things.
Mm-hmm.
The School of the Cat is much more morally lax when it comes to taking contracts for ending human lives, because for the most part, Witchers are here, say, we're here to kill monsters. Mm-hmm. Witchers of the Cat are like, we're here to kill whoever they pay us to kill.
Mm-hmm.
Witchers of the Griffin School are as varied as any from the bear or the snake or the wolf. They can choose. For the most part, some Witchers will say, we're here to protect the worlds of man and monsters, to the point where they will try to keep like non-violent or like decent mystical creatures alive and try to aid them. Like the Butcher of Blaviken has been known to show mercy to a number of different monsters, be they troll, Doppler, werewolf, godling, whatever. But it isn't. But as for if you ascribe to that, that is entirely up to you.
Great. Brynnhilder will look at the guy, and like again, she goes unblinking for maybe just like a second or two too long, to where it can kind of just get a little uncomfortable, before looking to Nienna and just giving one solemn nod. But she is going to turn away, like turn around and walk out the building so she can have plausible deniability.
So just to clarify out of character, neither of you are answering this question.
What question?
What question?
The Phoenix asking the both of you, who are you turning him into? Like, what authority are you turning the Doppler into for this circumstance?
Oh,
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, cool. Like, okay, so the only thing he got was a nod to you and Brynnhilder leaving. Perfect. That's what I wanted. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you. Yeah.
But like, I'm sure that Phoenix has known Brynnhilder enough to know that like something.
Yeah.
If she's leaving, it's because she wants to keep her neutrality. So something bad's probably gonna happen.
Yeah, no, that's why I was clarifying all of this. So it's like he sees that, he's like the deepest sigh of the night, and he just walks out the building.
Irileth retrieves the silver dagger, like leans on the wall, and just like waits for you guys to finish whatever you're doing.
This could take time. It might be easier to transport him somewhere a little bit more private, and where I will have time to work unimpeded.
You really think you can get something?
I think based on the warning that he gave me, I'm going to need to take measures to protect myself from whatever backlash might come from it. But yes, I think I can get something.
All right. Do we want to investigate this trapdoor at all before we leave? No stone unturned and all?
Might be beneficial.
All right. I'll go have a look with Render. Come, boy. And she'll throw open the door and take one of the candles with her.
All right. You are able to get down into the tunnel with Render. It's fairly simple for you to be able to get down there. The candlelight is enough to see that this place is a rather long tunnel that leads elsewhere. As you are following along with it, you see that there are a few offshoots to ladders, and even like one leading to a staircase that is made of stone.
Curious.
In total, there are 3 offshoots for ladders, and just the one offshoot to leads up to a stone, like a stone slab that would have to be pushed out of the way.
She's gonna go ahead and take her journal and a piece of charcoal and kind of map out the general routes that she's seeing. Given how they're structured, do they look like they're popping out into various areas outside into the Narrows?
The closest one does. The closest one definitely looks like it would pop out into another space in the Narrows. The further along you go, you realize that it's like taking a long while, but given that it's a straight shot, it's very likely that this leads like even to other districts. But since it's a straight shot as opposed to having to go through like traffic and other alleyways and streets and stuff, that it's very likely that this could even span out even into the higher end quarter.
Gotcha. All right. So she'll go ahead and make a note of that. And she is going to hurry along back quickly.
And if and when she gets back up the trapdoor, seems like this individual has a number of places throughout the city to pop out of. Might not be the only one.
Lovely. All right. Well, I did some thinking, and I think I can just do this here. Might be best for all, if I did. Solomon. I would like to use
Porcelain.
Ritual of Magic.
Okay.
Which it takes 5 rounds to prep. I have to spend 3 stamina, so that puts me at... How do I get my stamina back? That's what I am. I'm burning through it.
Resting, for the most part.
Okay, cool. So you guys watch as Nienna pulls pouches off of her belt, takes out a couple pieces of chalk, what looks like a few pieces of glass. She pulls out one pouch, and when she opens it and pulls out a couple of like yellowish stones that smell awful, sulfur, and then dust that makes the Witcher's pendant vibrate.
My spidey senses are tingling.
As soon as she produces it.
The amulet do be a shivering.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. But she'll take her time to draw a rather ornate circle full of magical symbols on the floor. Placing all of these items, sprinkling the dust through it at the end, and murmuring the whole time. And then that's that. I have ritual crafting, I'm assuming is what I have to roll for this.
That is correct. That is the skill.
All right. And do I get my 2 from my focus?
I will say that the focus is more for casting spells on the fly, but I will say that because it's so attuned to you, it will give you half of its bonus.
Okay.
All right, big money, no whammies. That is no whammies.
27.
That's no whammies at
That's
all.
very
My
good.
goodness.
That's
There
quite
you go.
good, yes. Please do make sure. Could you say one more time what exactly the ritual is for?
The Ritual of Magic creates a magic circle which bolsters magical tolerance, granting a bonus to vigor threshold equal to half the caster's ritual crafting skill value. This benefit is bestowed on the first person with magical ability to enter the circle and focus on it, and lasts for 5 hours.
Okay, so it will equal to half of your skill rank for ritual crafting to make it so that you can bump up your vigor that much more to put more stamina into the spell.
Right. I think it seemed like it was meant to be protective. That's why I took it.
Yeah. Well, given your higher spell, the more vigor you put into it, the stronger you are, which will protect you a little bit better.
Right. And I also have I'm on the Archmage skill tree,
Yeah.
which gives me a mage can roll magical training whenever sorry, I'm looking for the right thing. As a mage utilizes magic more and more, their body becomes more used to the flow. Every point a mage has an in touch grants +2 points to your vigor threshold. I have 2, so I have an extra +4 from that.
Is it +4 or is it +1? Because it's every 2 points gives you +1.
Every point a mage has in touch grants you +2 points to your vigor threshold.
Okay, you're correct. My bad. I misheard.
Yes. So +4 from that, and then an extra, is it round up or round down if something is half?
I will say round up for when it's beneficial to you.
Okay, and then +3 from the ritual. And then I'm going to step into the circle, and everybody sees Nienna's eyes kind of pulse and glow slightly with magic. And the spidey senses, Witcher senses, go all tingly again. And then I'm going to cast Eilhart's Technique, which is named for its creator, Philippa Eilhart. This gruesome spell allows you to dig into a target's mind and tear out information. If you succeed on your spellcasting roll, you gain 1 piece of information from the target. If the target fumbles their defense, their int is reduced by 1 permanently.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay, then.
That's
Man, Philip Eilhart doesn't fuck around.
She does
Pull
not.
out the big guns.
So obviously I'm going for the thing. And I get my +2 from my focus for this, yes?
Yes, this will give you +2 because it's the spell.
Okay. 26.
Okay. His defense was not a fumble.
Well, at least
So
his
he
int
doesn't
is
get dumber.
intact.
Yeah. But
What does it
you,
look like?
yeah, what does the spell exactly look like? I can tell you right now, it looks like he is throwing his head back in, like, and his eyes are rolling into the back of his head in agony.
I mean, I don't. So I know that the spell is at some point described in the books, but I have not gotten that far, so I don't know. So we'll say that Nienna's version of the spell is that she locks eyes with him, and her hands come up, and there are kind of pulsing silver threads that stretch out from the tips of each of her fingers and like lock into either side of his temple.
All right. And as they lock in, his eyes go into the back of his head and his body begins to convulse. And Nienna, you are specifically looking for what piece of information?
I want the mage's name.
The mage's
That's perfect.
name.
I love it.
Okay.
What'd you say, Overthinker?
Straight for the throat. I love it.
The mage's name that you get is Isildger. And as you have that revelation, I need you to make a resist magic roll.
Okay. Is this where I get the bonuses from?
This is where you will indeed get the bonuses from.
Oh my goodness, what did I say my bonus is worth? 4 from the thing, and then 7,
4 from
right?
Archmage, and then another 3 from your ritual.
7 total.
And you're
Yeah.
getting a +1 Saul said from your focus. So that's 8 total.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, that is for casting. That's not for
Oh,
vigor.
I thought he
Vigor.
allowed you to include that. That's my bad.
Yeah, I allowed you to include half of the bonus from your focus for the ritual.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know it also applied to this, but I'll take it. Here we go. 29. I'm okay. Maybe.
I did it, I think. Help.
So, you get this name, and then everyone sees the silvery tendrils turn bright white, and they see flames begin to erupt fully around the Doppler. He does not scream. He cannot scream, as it started from within and burned without. And the flames lash through the tendrils against Nienna's fingers, and she only takes 2 points of damage from the magical backlash of the contract burning away his entire inner being and lashing out to hit her as well.
As it goes
And-
wrong, I jump in and like slash his throat. Just thinking
His
he might
suffering
be doing
is ended
something.
that much quicker.
Where on the sheet do I note damage?
There should be at the top of the sheet. There's an HP area or like hit point area.
Oh yes, I see it. Okay.
You rolled well enough that you took only a little, despite the roll being quite high. And you are left with a charred almost or fully decapitated head corpse. I will leave that to Irileth's decision.
Half decapitated.
Nearly headless, got it.
Mm-hmm.
And now Nienna is still feeling the burn against her fingers, and she can sense that there was something else looking back at her the moment that she found out the name.
As soon as the spell ends, Nienna like yanks back from where those tethers were, and like cradles her hands against her body, like her palms are injured. Gives a little like yelp of pain.
You okay?
I'm fine. And she'll kind of look down at her hands, and her fingers are very clearly like blistered.
Shit. That doesn't look good. Get some water on that. Some salve or something.
I'll be fine.
Okay.
Siegryn peeks out from behind Render, just hyperventilating a little bit and staring at the newly cremated ash pile that used to be the Doppler. Did it work?
Yes.
Yeah?
I know who the mage is.
Okay. Oh yeah, Siegryn, you alright?
No, but nothing that a good drink can't solve.
For sure. This guy had apparently some stuff we should take. And then, yeah. Give me a sec. I'm gonna find some oil real quick.
Okay. He has a few lamps around the place that aren't lit at the moment that have oil in them and such, and some extra oil for when they run out.
Perfect. Anything valuable we can steal?
Give me a roll of awareness, please.
$19.
You look around and you find a few little bits and baubles, like a decent candle holder that looks like it's actually made of decent silver, and you find a small jewelry box that has a couple pendants in it. Some of them, one of them actually does have a decently sized emerald as on it, and you notice there are a few rings as well. Some of them look to be rings that actually have noble seals on them, interestingly enough.
Cool. I'll drop those into a bag, and as I usher the other two back out into the street, I'll kick over the oil and throw the lit lantern into it.
All right. So you head outside. Brynnhilder and Fenix see the others come outside, and Irileth throws a lit lantern into a wooden house.
Man
What
was
the devil are
immolated.
you
Cover our
fucking
tracks.
doing?
Man was immolated. We gotta cover our tracks.
What?
Wait, what?
Looks like between Siegryn, you, sees Nienna's hands.
He's telling the
Are you-
truth.
Are you okay? And it just goes towards Nienna and takes a small cloth and a little the pouch of water and kind of dunks it over and puts it over her hands. Should keep these cool.
Thank you. I'll be
And
fine.
we should get moving.
Yes.
Actually, can I try to roll some first aid on those hands?
Yeah, go ahead and give me, I believe it's a craft roll.
Mm-hmm. I only have a 1, but it's
I-
better than nothing.
I would like to craft her some new hands, please.
Craft these
Check me
hands.
out, Ma. You said I wouldn't amount to nothing. Crafting new
She's
hands.
got baby hands now. It's
Oh, God.
terrible.
Like, if you're gonna
Proceed.
make me new hands, I want them to be silver, and I want you to call me Nwada.
You got it. 17.
Pretty
That is
handy.
enough. Those burns are like first going on to second degree, but they're not bad enough that you can't really do anything. That you can't really do anything about them. You can like wrap them up in cool gauze and with water to begin helping to heal them. It will still take a little bit of time,
Here.
but
I
you've
got
got
an
it so that way they won't the blisters won't burst and they won't get infected or anything.
I got an extra pair of gloves for you. Put these on over them.
Nienna will take the gloves and will put them on, but it looks like she's a little bit on autopilot. Her mind is clearly elsewhere because there's no way a mage would agree to put on blacksmith's gloves normally, because they need their fingers to be able to make all those weird movements and whatever.
Yeah, they are very much 5 times your size, so it's a little goofy.
Yeah.
Wearing
Like,
oven
it's like a
mitts.
little kid holding on dad's gloves.
Yeah.
All right. Looks Brynnhilder. Where to? Or yeah, all of you honestly. Where to?
Well, if we have the mage's name now, we should probably head back to the Lost Pine Room and start discussing our next plan of action.
What's the mage's name?
Probably not something we should be mentioning out in the open.
Also,
We're standing next to a house that's actively burning. It's not.
oh, when we get a couple blocks away, I'm gonna turn around and yell fire as loud as I can, so that people have time to put it out before other buildings catch.
Alrighty then. Yeah, you all are able to get away from the place and yell fire, and you see everyone immediately dropping what they're doing and going to take care of the fire. Like even though the Narrows is not exactly great, there is enough community here and enough people all working together to make sure that what they have, as little as it is, doesn't get fucking destroyed.
Mm.
So, yeah, they're able to very much easily take care of it. So back to the body bar guest and the Pine Room.
Before we do, Brynnhilder, didn't you know another Doppler in the neighborhood?
I do. I can meet you guys.
Don't. If the others are involved, and we go showing up, they'll break the contract early. And that won't be the first party that gets burnt tonight.
I'm sorry, are we saying that's bad?
Yes.
A rough dozen guys decide to do shitty kidnapping work for some mage, and I mean,
It's not that simple.
seems pretty simple. Kidnappers.
You're rushing into this can burn all of our leads immediately.
Mhm.
We have a name. Let's talk about it and then go
And
from there.
It's what the mage would do.
Fine, we'll go back. I'm just saying, if these Dopplers are our leads, then burning them sounds like a solution.
Do we pass by Koro's house at all?
Yeah, you know that he generally stays in like it's not even a full-on shack. It's more like he just sort of like lives in an alleyway where he has a little lean-to.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell that he is there because you see him like poke his head out, and he's currently got he currently actually doesn't have a guise on. He kind of just looks like a ginger who got beat with the ugly stick.
Mm-hmm.
And he just like peeks his head out, looks out and sees you, and his eyes go wide, but he just stares at you like and tilts his head questioningly.
if we're able to make eye contact, she'll make eye contact with him and then like roll her eyes back slightly to like kind of like make a gesture towards the house that's currently on fire and then back. It's gonna like raise a brow.
And he will just shake his head and then go back into his lean-to.
Mm-hmm. Understood. I don't know if the Dopplers who are under this contract know each other, but it seems like my friend doesn't know him.
Yeah. Back to the Bargus then.
Sorry, you go ahead.
I was just saying back to the Barguest.
All right. So you head back to the body bar guest. It is much later in the evening now. It's to the point where anyone who is still here, either they're working to clean up or settle down for the evening. There aren't even really any patrons left. It's gotten to the point where it's pretty much just the workers cleaning up and making sure that everything else is taken care of for the day. Mother Kay is actually out and about and looks to Irileth as you all come back in. Irileth, we're going to have to move the body eventually.
I'll come up, give a half bow. Ms. K.
Yes, I could tell.
Well, that's good. So could we. Problem solved. We can move him tomorrow.
Good.
Or... yeah, I'll take care of it.
Good boy.
She's got any next of kin?
I believe
the
that her next of kin is actually northwards. I'll send letter and her payments.
Alright.
Siegryn, Fenix, Brynnhilder, Lady Nienna. Pleasure to see you all again.
Hello there.
Ma'am?
Nienna will just give a little nod.
I've went ahead and allotted the Pine Room to you all for the foreseeable future. You can use it as you need.
Thank you.
Much appreciated, ma'am. You need anything before we retire?
Only a promise that you'll make sure that that whoever is the cause of all this is taken care of.
The cause.
Soon. I have been in this long enough to know that it's not so simple as just one person grabbing children.
Alright.
Nienna just sort of goes a little paler and turns and walks up the stairs.
Alright. I'll cut hands off later. You want the head? You get the head. And I'll head upstairs. With a drink.
Yep. I'm guessing you're going for the harder stuff.
Oh yeah.
Mahakam brandy it is, or Mahakam whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Siegryn will do the same and follow up with Render.
And everyone heads up to the Pine Room.
Mm-hmm.
Well. That was something.
It was.
Right, now that we're all settled in and cozy, what was the name of that mage?
Before I tell you, I should give all of you the opportunity to step away from this. This isn't
Sorry.
a safe name to know. And they will be a difficult and dangerous quarry.
Mhm.
She'll kind of look around to make sure that nobody is leaving. Or to give people the opportunity to decide to leave because they don't want to know what I'm about to tell them.
No offense, Nienna, but do you think I'd be walking around this entire city in a show like this if I had the choice not to? For the children. I do look great in the shirt, though. Anyone?
I was thinking it.
Appreciate you.
His name is Isilga.
Cool, can we roll to see if we know who that is?
Actually, I'd
you
like
were-
to ask directly if Siegryn knows that name or remembers it.
Ooh. Give me a roll of. Let's just go with. Let's say intelligence and empathy. Just roll 1d10 and add those two stats together.
Okay.
Is that for all of us?
This is specifically for Siegryn.
Okay.
Okay, that is going to be 21 total.
Siegryn.
Mm-hmm.
This is not someone. You don't know what they look like. You don't know their race or anything. That is a name that has been burned into your memory from that event.
You all see the color vanish from her skin. Sweat begins to bead almost viscerally on her forehead, and the drink in her hand drops and shatters as she falls back against the wall, and her vision goes glassy.
Jesus.
No, it's not. You're lying.
I'm not. No one wants it to be anyone else more than I do.
Oh. Oh, gods. Oh, he's all the way out here. Oh.
Will you sit in a chair? Good God. Please.
I'll do whatever the hell I fucking want. And she's going to sink down to the floor and just kind of ball up while Render kind of half curls himself around her protectively.
Yeah, he is busy whining at the moment.
Nienna? He says with like an inflection that is, I need an explanation now.
I don't know why she's behaving like that.
A name you recognize at all?
Oh yes. That's why I warned you. There was not someone to undertake making an enemy lightly.
Irileth is an older fellow and he's been around the world. Has he encountered this person before? Should I roll with, or have I heard of him?
Let's go a same roll for memory as what we did for Siegryn. Intelligence and empathy.
That's gonna be upwards of a 20.
Okay. The name is not anything you attach any like intense knowledge or understanding to.
29
But you've heard the
total.
name, especially in Scoia'tael circles. Like whenever they would get, whenever they might send in elves to sort of investigate or like infiltrate Scoia'tael's rings, either you or some of your buddies would do it, and they would bring back information about a sage known as Isildur. Not a mage, which is just any sort of elf that does magic, specifically a sage, one who is much older and much more powerful.
Oh. Huh. Interesting. Haven't heard that name in 30, 40 years. Used to be a big shot with the Scoia'tael. Though, I gather that's not where y'all know him from.
Quick reminder, GM. Where does Siegryn remember him from? Where did that all take place?
It took place in the Northern Kingdoms. It took place in Redania.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Real old fucker. Like magical, but like next level magical.
And he has used that power to do absolutely heinous things.
Yeah. Fits the profile.
Saul? Does any of this
Yes.
match up with the person that I know?
From what time you've spent with him? No.
I mean, I've spent a lot of time with him.
Yes. But there was a lot of time where you also were separated from doing other things as well.
Yeah, what do you know about him, Nienna?
I'm beginning to wonder if we know the same person. I mean, powerful, yes, that I'll agree with, but he was... Nienna will just sort of... She looks a little lost.
He wasn't a kidnapper of children.
Not in the context that I knew him, no. He was my...
Like a resistance kingpin?
No. Isilga's my mentor, and throughout my entire magical training, and when I left school, he became my lover.
Shit. Don't suppose you know where we can find him?
I knew he was to some degree involved with the Scoia'tael, but he has never shown an ounce of cruelty around me. He's always been kind. I mean, a bit strict and a little overbearing, but kind.
Even a wolf can wear sheep's clothing.
I've known him for nearly 100 years.
Were you ever with him when he was in Redania?
Solomon?
No. That was a point in which he said he had to maneuver anger and cruelty away from the elven population. He left and said that he would be back after ensuring that the elves of Redania were a bit more protected.
No, I was here, furthering my own studies. He said that the tides of public sentiment had turned against our people, and he was going to try to lessen that?
Siegryn chuckles brokenly, and there are tears streaming down her cheeks as she rests her head back. Well, that would explain a few things. The man that I know who bears that name bore that name with fear on the lips of anyone who served him in Redania, power or peon. He had connections to everyone. And he kicked off one of the most horrific pogroms in Redania that claimed the lives of both of my parents. Claimed the lives of nearly every dwarf that I knew in that godforsaken land.
What's a pogrom?
A racial cleansing.
Oh.
Frankly, the only soul that I know that was spared is myself and my sister. That's it. There was no resistance, no groups, and any that would have gone up only would have lasted for a day, maybe two. The way he gets his hands around people is insidious and quick and horrifying. If he has come here and if he is behind what is happening with these children, God, I can't even begin to imagine what he is plotting.
This doesn't add up at all.
What do you mean?
Well, given two accounts of what we think is maybe the same person. Neither versions of that person, as far as I can tell, would just kidnap children. And using might, and also using Dopplers as an intermediary to make it, and then having what Siegryn discovered as a huge tunnel system going underneath the Narrows.
The man kicked off a mass killing of dwarves for a fucking political maneuver. I don't think kidnapping children is very above him.
That's what I'm saying. We need to verify that this is all the same person. Yes? Don't lose your mind about thinking what he might have turned into. And he says that looking at Nienna. Because we don't know that yet. But if you can contact him in any way.
Yeah. Yeah, if you could find out maybe where he's staying, that'd be super helpful.
Unless
you forget that he knows that I know now.
Well, seems like nobody better. What kind of terms did the two of you part on?
We're lovers to this day. I mean, it's been a bit before we've seen each other, since we've seen each other, but that's not uncommon for mages, we have appointings and responsibilities that we have to see to.
And very, very long lives. All right.
Solomon,
Yes.
how would I go about getting in touch with him? And do I know if he is anywhere near here last I heard?
Last you heard, he had gone back to Doppler, to the Elven homelands. But you, as his lover and confidant, have a way to contact him. He gave you a token that you could use with a ritual in order to speak with him. It won't summon him there, but it will give you a way to converse as if you were in the same room for a short while at least. It would just require you to burn what is effectively a small lock of his hair tied with mistletoe and holly. And it would be able to essentially make it so he would appear before you in a way, and you could speak to him while the candle burns down.
Is it safe to say that I would have some of that with me? Or would I need to go back to the palace to get it?
I would say that you could carry it with you if you wished.
Okay. Nienna will kind of nod a little bit, and she'll move like she's going to grab something, and then remember that she's got the stupid fucking gloves on. And she will take them off. And you notice that when she moves throughout all of this, she is moving very purposefully and very deliberately. No action is taken for granted. She sort of takes them off very carefully. She puts them together, and then she moves over to hand them to Fenix.
Before you get started, if you want to rest for the night,
I won't be able to sleep.
I know, just an offer.
Yeah,
but would it be too much to ask to have the room?
Nods and he just walks out.
Not at all. I don't think I'd want to be around here for this anyways. Come on, Render.
You're gonna talk to him.
I have to.
Will he be able to see the room?
No, I don't believe so.
Then I'll stay. Will I be able to see him?
What you know of the ritual, it would be more that you are basically able to see in some sort of like mental space where you can see each other but can't see much of anything else around you, and others would not be able to see, and they would only hear like your side of the conversation as you actually speak the words.
You won't be able to see or hear him. You'll only be able to hear my side of the conversation, and I won't be able to see you.
I see. Then I'm gonna turn in.
I will go and tend to the other two.
All right.
And she'll rest one hand on Nienna's shoulder and just give it a very gentle squeeze before walking out.
Okay. Nienna will finish. She will pull out all of the things that she needs. The lock of hair. She will, I'm assuming, go to the like where there are extra candles, like on a sideboard or whatever, and bring it over. to the table. She'll pull out a little bundle of his hair. And it is very obviously diligently tended to. Like, she doesn't just like shove it in a pocket and forget about it. It is still just as silky and untangled as it was when he gave it to her. And she will wrap it around. You said it was holly and something else? Mistletoe?
Yeah.
Wrap it very carefully around holly and mistletoe with a little piece of kind of purple blue ribbon that is the same color as the ribbons that hold the braids in her hair. And then she will light the candle, light the bundle, and set it down in a like on a little plate thing next to the candle, and let herself go into that mental space.
The flame burns away the token, and the flame on the candle becomes the same color as the ribbons. And you open your eyes, and you are back in Doppler. You are in his quarters, his study. And he is set beside you by a roaring hearth.
I will take a moment, as I always do when I use this spell, and he happens to be here. Take a moment to just sort of look around, because Nienna physically hasn't been back to Doppler since she left school. And then I will turn to look at him.
I would say good evening, but it seems that that is out of the question at the moment.
Why?
Nienna, you are beyond darling to me, beyond dear to me. There is not a language that could truly describe how I feel for you. But this is something that must be done.
Why?
If I explain more to you, if I bring you into this, then you will be implicated in sin just as much as I.
I am already in this. Nothing I say will stop the others from coming for you, and I have a duty, and I have to know why.
It is for the good of the continent, the good of the entirety of this world.
Oh.
There is a purpose here. I do not do things. I do nothing for no purpose. You know this.
Do. But I don't see how taking children from their homes and the families who love them and doing gods only know what with them can serve anyone.
It will, and you will understand if you give me time.
I can't do that.
You can.
You cannot put me in this position. Try to play upon my feelings for you.
Then ignore them for the moment, and let us speak as associates, as fellows in magic and in the wish for the betterment of the entirety of the continent. There is a purpose to this, but if I tell you what it is, it won't work.
That is a very...
Prophecies must be adhered to.
Prophecies.
You are not the only one who has received such a gift.
I put me in an impossible situation.
As prophecies tend to do, yes.
Answer me one question. Does this have to do with what is happening to the Lord's son?
He holds for a moment and takes another deep breath and closes his eyes before opening them again. Yes. He was trying too hard to learn what he is not permitted, to understand what is beyond him. The boy will not die so long as he stays where he is.
They know your name. The ones I'm working with. Did you really... Are you really responsible for the deaths of so many dwarves?
Yes. It is not something I am proud of, but it was either one dwarven settlement or every elf slaughtered. I chose what was better for our people.
Does all of... Does all of this have anything to do with what I told you?
Nienna.
You're the only person I've ever told.
It has everything to do with what you've told me. Some prophecies can be intertwined, like lovers. Unfortunately, mine is the greater burden to carry.
You have no idea how painful all of this is for me. I don't have words for it. You were my hero. You realize that? You were the person who taught me that I didn't have to go back to my mother and her plans for me. That I could choose a different life and a different path, and I did. And I wouldn't have had the strength to do that without you. And now I find out all of this. And I find it out because of the things you taught me.
Despite all that will come, I'm proud of you, Nienna. And I will never stop being proud of you.
You have to stop. You have to stop taking them.
I will. Soon. I've found out what I need, and I know how better to complete what must be done.
Are they alive?
They are. They are alive.
What will happen to them?
They will serve a great purpose in the years to come. Greater than whatever their station may have been before.
I know you're not going to tell me the whys. And I won't ask again. Is there anything else I should be aware of?
There is one thing. The child of your prophecy. I have done more divination. I've learned more about the winds and a bit of the hows. It is yet to be born, Nienna.
All right.
And when it will be born, it is apparently dependent on you.
What?
Our time is running short. The candle's almost gone. And you can look down and see that on like a little table between the two of you, the candle is nearly burnt out completely.
What do you mean, me? It's dependent on me.
Nienna, you know that prophecies don't tend not to come true if you spoil them.
I do.
Then I ask you to trust me, at least for that you are integral to it.
All right. I can't slow them down. I can't give you time.
I'm not asking you to. I'm not asking you to betray them in any way. You must do what you think is right, as I must.
All right. She'll kind of look down at the candle, and with the last couple sputters of the flame, will just gasp out, I love you.
I love you too, Nienna. And then his vision and the vision of Doblathana will fade away, and you are back in the Pine Room.
And she'll kind of, collapse, sobbing.
As to be expected.
Mm. Okay. Saul?
Yes. Everyone is able to find Nienna if they wish, or if they have turned in, then Nienna is able to turn in as well.
I think, given the circumstances, Fenix would have gone back to the tooth and nail, because he knows he's gonna need some shit for this.
Fair enough. What exactly are you going back for?
Heading back, he will go through the back door and directly into his forge, because he knows the old man is probably sleeping, passed out. So he'll go to the side room of the shop where he keeps the storage of his weapons that he hasn't put out for sale, and he'll light a candle and go over to a chest and open it up, like lowers the candle into it, and you just see like a glow meeting his face. Well, he thinks of what he needs. Then he'll turn in for the night afterwards.
Okay. For some, actually likely for most, restless evening, everyone is able to meet back at the Body Bar Guest and at the Pie Room whenever they are ready and able.
I think
would do
you're
one more
left.
thing.
Yeah.
On his way to bed, he would just, that item I sent to you, I'm going to write down the amount that I need and give it to Madam K. I don't think I have the resources to get this, but I'm pretty sure you do. If you want it done, I want it done right. Can we make that happen?
Mother K will look at it and look back at you and nod. I will pull some strings. It may take a day or two, but it will happen.
All right. And then I go upstairs to probably Saffron. She's a good listener, and I've got a fair amount to talk about before we pass out.
Fair enough.
I think Siegryn would probably just be drinking the night away at this rate.
Fair enough. And I was told that that Legacy has stepped away for the moment, so we will go ahead and move on to the next day.
If nobody came to get Nienna after she sort of cried until she couldn't cry anymore, I think she'd probably actually go back to the castle and sleep in her chambers.
Fair
She
enough.
has a reasonable amount of privacy and, a tub.
Yeah. Gotta wash off the ugly cry.
Mm-hmm. And the next day she will show up in fresh clothes freshly bathed, makeup on. She looks collected.
Fair enough. And everyone is back once again at the Pine Room.
Yeah. Fenix would open the door and he's got a big fucking bundle in his hands. It's like, all right, you're all paying for me. You gotta pay for me. You gotta pay for these. God, I had a long night of sharpening and figuring it out. All right.
Oh shit!
You.
It's winter solstice.
Irileth.
Yeah.
And he opens the of the bundle, and he just kind of gestures to 3 different things from you. Pick your poison, you get 1. And he points to 3 silver swords.
Hell yeah. I will evaluate them and pick something that's probably more fast than like heavy.
You're gonna owe me for that later.
Yeah.
Siegryn, Nienna, I don't know what you would prefer, but I have several small arms if you choose.
I don't need silver, but thank you.
Of course.
Anything that I can use for my fists would be preferable.
I think I can whip up something like that.
That'd be much appreciated.
I don't know what we have coming for us, but these are small donations for now. Right? I am running a business. Like, smiles half to himself before rolling them back up. But
How much
it's
do
the
you
least I
need?
can do. What's that?
How much do you need to pay for them?
Nothing right now. It's for the kids.
I'm asking you what it cost you to make them.
He just he just like smiles at her. It's like, it cost me some blood, sweat, and tears. But for right now, that's enough. And he'll roll them back up and tuck them off to the side. The ones that no one took. When Brynnhilder gets here, I'll see if she wants a replacement.
Fair enough.
And I appreciate the gesture, Nienna, but I'm a stubborn idiot, and I'm too kind for my own good sometimes. You'll have to forgive me.
Mhm.
Pretty sweet. It's a nice sword.
I know.
So, what did we learn? Oh, you're staticking a little bit.
It's just background noise. Not much that can be of help. I can tell you he's not here.
Yeah.
He went home. Or he's home.
Where's home?
Old Blathana.
Right. Elf home.
And what of his involvement in what's been going on, as well as the other works? Is this the same person?
Yes.
God.
No, that's a good thing. It means we know a lot about him. To be fair, most of it is that he's strong, but still.
What exactly does he want with the children, though?
He wouldn't tell me.
He's going through a lot of work to get him.
They are alive.
Oh, good. That's good.
Did he mention how long they would stay that way? If there's
He was not giving on details. What I can tell you is that from what I could glean, destiny is at play here.
Yeah, of course it is.
God, it truly would be with someone like him.
Sig, did you sleep?
Define sleeping.
Well,
If you consider getting blackout drunk and then passing out until morning, then yes, I did sleep, in a manner of speaking.
you know that doesn't count. But, yeah. So he's in Dolblethana, though.
He is. He is. I haven't been back to Dolblethana since I left.
Could you see the sun? Or the
No,
moon?
we were inside.
No windows.
None that I was looking at, Irileth.
Too busy focusing on someone who truly believes they have a destiny behind them. There are few less dangerous than them. Or more.
I don't believe that hard.
Okay, so we know for a fact now that he is involved in the goings-on in this city. How does this connect to... who is it? The kid who's fallen ill?
He will recover. He just has to stay where he is for now. Apparently he stumbled on the trail of what was happening and was digging too deeply.
So he knows something.
He was trying to learn something.
He had found out what your boy's up to. So your boy put him out of action.
Well, either that or he simply just got too close for comfort.
My suspicion is that he got too close for comfort. If he knew, I don't think he'd be alive.
I mean, we know.
I have a feeling we
Yes, but
barely know much of
we are
anything.
a fair sight more difficult to inflict on.
So,
Yeah.
Nienna,
What?
when do we leave?
Oh,
Well, we know where he is.
we know where he is. When I spoke to him, he can create portals. He can go anywhere almost. As powerful as he is. He could have gone to Dolblethana when he knew that I knew.
Even beyond that, he is well connected in a manner that I have yet to see in all my times living in this realm.
I understand that, but we have to start somewhere. And we knew he was there. Every trail starts at one location or another, and if we have a lead to where he was, even as recently as a few hours ago, it's a start. I'm not saying I don't know magic, but I do know we have to stop this as soon as possible. These are just ideas. Because the only thing I'm hearing from everyone is that we need to kill him or stop him.
As you say that, the door opens and Brynnhilder is able to step inside.
Sorry, I'm late. Had to take care of some personal business.
Anything related to all of this?
I'd rather not get into it right now. What did I miss?
Well, we basically all but confirmed that the man that I knew and the one that is our mage's lover are one and the same, essentially.
Was.
Either way, this does not bode very well for us, considering the amount of resources and connections that are available to him, even beyond his mastery of magic.
That's what I wanted to ask. He killed a bunch of people, but he didn't, show up and throw fire out of the sky, right? He made
No.
other people do it for him.
It wasn't. She'll kind of glance at Siegryn. There is no gentle way to put this. Please understand that my words are not my personal feelings on the matter.
She'll slowly nod and is biting down on her lower lip as if to brace herself.
Our people. She'll kind of look back at Irileth. Were on the verge of being wiped out completely in that region. He made a calculated decision to sacrifice was it a village, Solomon? Is that what he called it?
It was a dwarven settlement, but it was actually closer to almost like a ghettos area.
Sacrifice a settlement of dwarves in order to save all of the elves in the region.
God.
I knew that he was involved with the squirrels. I've always known that. I grew up knowing people like that. He has no hatred of humans, but an immense amount of love for his people. And every time there's another massacre of our kind, I see a piece of him get chipped away.
And so he decided that this time it had to be my people.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
It's not your fault. Please don't apologize. Honestly, I can't imagine what you're going through right now.
Not to cut this short, but as I was saying when you walked in, Brynnhilder, time is short. We have an old location of where he is in the past 24 hours. We need to figure out how to approach this, because we could figure out how to stop the immediate kidnappings in this area. But do we work towards that?
There's
or
no
stopping
quick
us?
way to get there, Phoenix. I can't take us there.
And unfortunately, The kidnappings will stop here and start somewhere else.
That I'm
Possibly.
aware of. But
No, that's a definite.
like I said, I'm aware of that. But we have to start somewhere.
Wait, how do you know that?
I would
Yeah.
rather not talk about it.
I don't. If I had to bare my soul, so do you. How do you know that they would start back up? Because I was told, I was told that he had learned what he needed.
Because people like him won't stop at just knowledge.
So you're making an assumption.
People died at this man's hand. No matter
People
the
died
reason.
in my hand.
And yours.
I don't kill people.
I told you this before, Irileth, don't laugh. They come in all shapes and sizes.
To sort of refocus our discussion, you mentioned that he knew what he needed.
He didn't tell me what that was.
Oh, damn it.
All I know is that he had explored some divination and had experienced a prophecy, and that this is all tied to that somehow. But because when you go telling everyone everything about a prophecy, it tends to not come true, he wouldn't tell me more than that.
So he's stealing kids with a little bit of destiny to him.
Possibly. I don't know.
I mean, he's not just stealing any kid. Maybe he is, but I feel like we should find out.
I don't think it's just any. If it was just any, there would have been much easier targets than the boy at here.
Yeah.
It was quite risky to send one of them here.
I also just want to float again. We know there's more than 4 and less than 12 Dopplers bound to his will. Maybe we don't have to kill all of them. Maybe we lock them up. But as long as they're out there, if he tells them to kill us, they'll try to do it.
We do also have a partial lead. I don't know how useful the Lord's Son will be, but if he had a spell or a curse cast on him for a reason, maybe he might have some insight that we haven't quite yet uncovered. Something that'll help us.
It would be difficult to question him. There is...
Does
I
breaking his
believe.
magic get easier because you know who cast it?
In theory, I understand his magic more than I would understand others. I don't know all of the details, and again, he was very insistent that as long as the Lord's Son stays where he is, he would get better. Me trying to lift the effects, I don't know what the backlash could be.
Well, he immolated the last one from the inside out, so.
Last one was under that contract.
I understand, but it's not literally play with fire again.
Saul,
Yeah.
just out of curiosity, how long of a trip would it be from like a horse-drawn cart to the mage's home and or
Doppler.
residence? Yeah.
To Doppler, weeks, I believe. Doppler is way out there.
Kind of figured as much. Okay. Just wanted to know.
Well, I think I got a business pit to run for Lady K. She's helping me putting together some solutions here.
Of course.
And if you gestures to Brynnhilder, you've still got a contact to hit up. Maybe do that. Maybe we find out if all these kids had something in common. Hit the various parents, talk to them, be like, you know, what were they like? Who's the other parent? Tell me about you.
Wait a minute. Were all these single parents?
Maybe.
Everything that you've seen so far would corroborate that. A single elven father, the fisherman father down by the river, and then Mina.
They're all single parents. What the fuck does that mean?
It might mean that they are attacking or taking children who are less susceptible to protection. It's easier to kidnap a kid that has one parent versus two.
But not easier
No.
to walk into a place like this and steal a child, which is what they did last night.
It is through a window.
It's
I don't think it's about easy.
no, nor do I.
It's all about destiny. Fuck this. I'm gonna go talk to that man. Brynnhilder, there's silver swords and weaponry in that bundle over there. I'm going down to the Narrows and finding the Sylvan man and see if we can get details on his attacker.
Right on.
You get Siegryn, I'm not saying sleep, but sober up a bit. It's dangerous. And there are some fisticuffs in there if you wish to use them. And I guess we would just ask your lord, Winston, Nienna, and Brynnhilder, what the next course of action he'd like you to take, given the new information that his son will eventually get better if he doesn't move.
One of us should go with you. Elves are not inclined to talk to humans easily.
I wouldn't worry about that too much.
And yet I do. Considering the last elf I introduced you to, you were quite rude. She'll stand up.
Yes, that was rude because I wanted information quickly. I'll be fine.
I'm going with you. I cannot sit
Just
here.
let her. Just say yes, man.
No, I'm just remembering the stubbornness comment I made earlier. Come along. And he grabs a silver-tipped hammer from his bundle and walks out the door.
Alrighty. With everyone beginning to file out and to their own various tasks, we will go ahead and end the story for now.